mm, organization development intervention. I know this is an OD intervention. Now, what are interventions? Interventions are, intervention comes from the word intervene. Intervene means to put something in between in the process, okay, to induce something in the process, okay. So what do we do? Organization development does, it actually introduces some practices in the process. A process is going from A to B, so organization development will try to induce some change here, change with help of these interventions. So today, now we will discuss something related to learning organization as an OD intervention. Why I took it today? Because it will help me to make you understand with respect to Google, because Google talks about learning culture, isn't it? So learning culture, along with learning culture, Google is actually a kind of learning organization. Now, what are learning organizations? These are the organizations which explicitly believe on learning of people. They explicitly highlight learning of people as prime most important factor that gives them competitive advantage against their competitors, that helps them to differentiate the value of their products and services compared to their competitors. Okay. So this guy Peter Senge in 1990 actually wrote a book called Fifth Discipline. In his book on Fifth Discipline, he highlighted the importance of learning organization. So what he said was that learning organization are such organizations which are structured in a way that they have those tools, methods, so that they can analyze change quickly and then evaluate the changes, and based on the requirement of change, they can quickly adjust to the customer needs. Okay. So these organizations, why or how are they able to do it so fast? Because their people are actually trained and competent enough to handle situations, changing situations quickly. Okay, but an organization where it is not explicitly focusing on learning aspect of a person, then in such organization people are actually not able to prepare themselves to accept changes. In such organizations, they take a long time period to come over the change, and by that time lot of loss has also already been made to the company. So what we look at learning organizations, so it's skilled at creating, acquiring and transferring knowledge. So what is the beauty of these learning organizations? They keep on creating, acquiring new knowledge and disseminating it. When I say transferring, they keep on disseminating the knowledge among people so that it helps them to modify behavior. So now let us go deeper into what Peter Senge actually proposed in Fifth Discipline. He said about these 5 disciplines. The first discipline is systems thinking, shared vision, mental models, learning, team learning, and personal mastery. So he said that if you want, so now this is for you as an HR person, if you want your organization to be a learning organization, an organization which believes in continuous improvement, which believes in innovation, which believes in, making its people and its company agile in today's environment, the organizations should have a learning culture. And how can you develop this learning culture? For this learning culture, you need to do this 5 things. The first is systems thinking. Now, what does see in our initial organization change development classes? We discussed a lot of, organization change models. Remember? So in that model, we discussed a model called with systems approach. So systems approach says what? Every component is part of a system. So if you make a change in one system, it is going to affect all other parts also. Organization also, there is an interdependence of people, processes, right? And if there is any issue at one point, the other will get effective. What do these learning organizations do? What does organizations like Google do? They do not, when they hire a new employee during the onboarding, remember in training development class in HRM, we discussed something called onboarding. So when you provide onboarding to people, onboarding is also known as orientation. So when new people join your organization, you make them go through an onboarding process. So in onboarding, do not tell your people only about what your job is, right? Rather than show him how his or her work is actually connected to all other activities of the organization, or you can say how his or her work is influencing all other systems and activities in the organization. By this, a person gets a large picture of the overall picture of how the organization works. And when you get such a picture, you start thinking in the same way. So it's very important in these kind of organization, all the employees think in a similar way. If we all are going together, sailing together, we need to think on same lines. And this is the duty of HR people, to design the organization training program or its processes, and how people think, means what is focused in systems thinking. Next, you look at shared vision. We all should have similar vision. If I share a vision, I want to go to such a place, and you also agree with me to go to such a place, we can agree, at some point of time in some things we can agree. So when we share this common vision, it is easy for us to understand others, isn't it? If our visions are similar, we will understand others easily, we will have empathy easily, we will be easily able to work together, isn't it? But if we don't understand each other, how will I work together? Can we work? Can we collaborate? No. And if we do not collaborate, can an organization or a team give results? Absolutely no. So shared vision. Then third one is personal mastery. Personal mastery means, ultimately, what does an organization want from you? When you join your job or workplace, what does an organization want from you? An organization wants you to be, to give results, right? And to give results, you should have abilities. Ability requirement keeps on changing. These organizations need to actually focus on personal development. Provide continuously, the people in these kind of organizations are continuously in a training process. They are learning new things continuously, and this continuously keeps your brain active also. You practice that in yourself. You see, if you don't study for a long time, if you don't put your mind, your brain cells in action by reading things, doing analysis, gradually you become a sort of obsolete, like your brain stops functioning. But if you regularly keep on enriching yourself with new things, new activities, new learnings, you are always charged, your brain cells are charged. So these organizations, the HR people in these organizations, make it a point to keep the brain cells of their people charged by continuously making them go through the learning process. Okay, then you have mental models. When I say something, whatever understanding you have about that word, that you start imagining. And these are called mental models. These models are there, fit out in our brains. So whenever somebody says something, we immediately imagine it. That is the reason why language makes a difference, isn't it? If I go to suppose to some country today and I don't know the language and I don't understand what they say, will I be able to make right mental models? No. And in organizations, one of the very important thing that brings up this mental models is values. If you have strong values, you can easily make right decisions. You can, it will be easy for you. What are values for? Values actually are guidelines which help you make decisions, which make you decide what should be done, what should be the next course of action that is approved or disapproved by the organization. So the value system has to be strong and should be imbibed by all people in a similar way. Then you see again decision making becomes easier. And the final thing is team learning, that is collaboration. In learning organization, collaboration plays very crucial role in teams, because again I'd like you to just think about it. When I'm talking about learning organization, it is an organization which believes in flexibility. If an organization believes in flexibility, will it be, having typical vertical hierarchy, or will it have a flat structure? Okay, it will have a flat structure where organization people mostly work in teams. There is no superior subordinate relationship is less. Most of the people are colleagues or a peer group. So when you have colleagues or a peer group, you're working in teams, the collaboration process is higher. Okay, so these are the 5 components that Peter Senge highlighted in his book on the 5th discipline, where he said that if anyone wants his or her organization to be a learning organization, then these are the 5 components the organization need to look into. Okay, but this is the thing, that is the backdrop of how Google, Apple, and other learning organizations like your Infosys, these organizations are moving forward. So next, let us look at the types of organization learning. Okay. Now, there are basically 4 types of organization learning, but remember one thing, they overlap. Okay, they overlap. It is not that if one organization is working on competence acquisition, the other is purely experimentation. One may seek competence. One organization may have an organization learning referred to as competence acquisition. That means to cultivate new capabilities of resources. That is to develop new ways of doing things by acquiring more competence. Next is experimentation, where the organization gives a lot of flexibility to its people to experiment new ways and new methods. See, in competence acquisition, you get it from outside, maybe. Okay, or you build an R&D division where particularly people develop their competencies and they cater to the issues. In experimentation kind of learning organizations, people get a free hand on use of resources and they are more innovators. The third one is a continuous improvement, where, see, whenever you say continuous improvement, they are not coming up with a new product. If you look at Apple will be an example of experimentation. But if you look at Google will be an example of continuous improvement, because your product or service remains the same. You just try to be much better than what you were in the next step. Okay, you keep on improving your efficiency, maybe in terms of time, maybe in terms of money, maybe in terms of how fast. Remember the mission and vision of Google was, at one click people everywhere should get it at one click. So that talks about what they are orienting. That means it needs to be very fast. It needs to exactly give you the results that you are asking for to a search engine. It's a search engine, right? So, and the fourth one is boundary spanning. Now, these organizations, these learning organizations learn by connecting to other organizations. They learn, they look at the benchmark practices in other organizations, and then they try to build their organizations over it. Okay, so in all those four ways, that means if you want to make your organization a learning organization, you can use any of these four types or approaches. This should add to the culture. How culture? Now, suppose your organization is boundary spanning type. The culture you should induce is people should, the practices that you will have to follow in the organization will be by allowing people to move more, to travel to other organizations to learn. Okay, because boundary spanning learning will happen only when your people go to other organizations and learn from them their best practices, and then come and do it in your organization. That is one type of learning, right? So another thing I would to say, that there is overlapping between them. Okay, no, you cannot put them on watertight compartment, each of these learning. Please remember this. So if we next move to how will you create a learning organization, so you first ought to have it in your strategy. Like every organization can become a learning organization, but the strategy of the organization should fit into it, isn't it? Like just I asked you, if you are a cost centric organization, can you be a learning organization? It's difficult, isn't it? Because when you are very cost centric, you want a low cost product, will you be investing a lot of money in research and development? Because learning wants you to be spending more money. So here again you will have to barter. You may go for boundary spending. So if you go for such kind of people whom you send other places, they learn best practices, then come back and introduce it, then you may get low cost product. So establishing a learning strategy is the first step. Then is redesign organization structure. Remember, if you have a learning strategy, you will need what kind of structure? You need a flexible structure, isn't it? You need a flexible structure. You need people to work in teams. You need a flat structure in your organization. So whatever the structure is, if you're going for learning organization, you have to change the structure and put them in this form. Next is infuse web-based information system. Very, very important. See, when you are a learning organization, you capture knowledge, you continuously train and develop your people. For that, you need web-based information system. You need good internet facilities. You need people to know, to learn on net. You cannot all every time conduct a physical classroom training program. So you need to make people very well versed in web-based information systems. And another reason why you need this, we'll go to the next slide and then I'll explain it there more. And the final one is modify the organization's culture, which I said. See, the culture and practice has to go together. If culture is going in one direction, the popular saying, what is the popular saying? The popular saying says, culture eats strategy in breakfast. Have you heard this? Culture eats strategy in breakfast. Whatever brilliant strategy your organization boardroom may make, but if your culture does not support the strategy will be failure. That is why a lot of mergers, acquisitions, diversifications do not work. There is something called double loop learning and single loop learning. Now, what happens in single? Remember, most of the organizations are single loop learning. What happens in single loop learning? Let us see. Single loop. What happens? There are a lot of governing variables. Okay, now these variables lead to action strategies and techniques which lead to results. This is how an organization works. No, you are very clear about it. But what happens in results and consequences when an organization faces any problem? Okay, when an organization encounters any problem, then people think about solving a problem, bring about change in action, and the process keeps on moving like this. This part is untouched. This part remains untouched. That means in these kind of organizations, whenever a problem comes up, maybe in productivity, maybe maybe in they are not able to face or fulfill the customer needs, or fall in sales, or whatever problem comes in, maybe quality of product or quantity, whatever problem comes in, what do these people do in these organizations? They actually just change the action and techniques, and which influences the results. They solve the problem. What I mean to say is they solve the problem in that particular direction for that immediate consequences. So this is also, single loop learning is also at times referred as a reaction model. Okay, it's a reaction to problem. Whenever you face problem, what you do, suddenly you immediately fix it. You try to fix the problem immediately. Okay, but what happens in a double loop learning? Double loop learning is more proactive in nature. Remember, it's proactive. That means, what does this do? When people face problem, it does not directly change only the action. It completely changes the goals, values, beliefs. It brings about change in the whole conceptual framework. Right? That means what? Suppose there is some problem. So let us take some problem. What problem should we take? Suppose, for example, there is a loss of production. What the sales? Suppose there is loss. The sales have fallen. Okay. What will the organization do when sales fall? The organization can, one quick fix will be, to reduce production. So because you don't have space to keep inventory, and a lot of money will be also blocked, and then you fire some people. You reduce employment by giving pink slips, and then you fire those people. So people are reduced again, thing, and whenever the things are okay, sales increase, you again hire people. Okay, you must be seeing this happening around organizations. This is a single loop learning. Now, what will happen in a double loop learning? The organizations who fall for sales, they will actually bring about some change in their conceptual frameworks. They will see why the sales are dropping. They'll be more proactive in the approach. They will look at their problem solving approach will be different. You need to look at these two things here. Problem solving will be different. They will reevaluate. They will see whether their goals were wrong at this point of time. Because of pandemic, probably they need to bring change to their policies and practices, so that the issue can be resolved. So they will bring about change here, which will influence the process in this way, and the problem can be reduced. So the example in the way which I gave you here, what should the organization do? The organization will change its strategy. The organization will look at how it can better ways of carrying out the work, by maybe opening up different platforms for people to deliver their services. right? Or some other methods, or other capture some other market so that they can sell the product. Okay, if sales is falling in one part, then you may do a research and find out in other parts the sale may, may in this duration, believe me, in 7 months duration, many organizations started mask manufacturing of gloves, manufacturing of sanitizers, soaps, and all these things are required. So which are the organizations do you think could have made the shift in a faster speed? Obviously, who have a continuous, who are more agile when you